Well, prepare yourself as you should at all time, guys. I'm about to give my review for Marcella Season 3. We're going to do a recap. We're going to do an ending explain for Season 3 of Marcella. This is the Binge. But before we get into that, guys, I want you to hit the like and subscribe button because it really helps out the channel so you can be caught up to everything that's going on here at T3 Medias. Now, if you also have a question, comment, or concern, you can put it in the box below and we will talk about it on the next episode of We Got Your Mail. So after this review, after this recap, after this ending explain, I want you to comment below and let's just keep talking, guys. Now, first off, I want to thank everybody who came to this channel to recap Season 2 because I thought it was very weird that Netflix did not have a recap for the last season for a very complex show in a situation where you know for a fact that people aren't going to remember what they just binged a year ago. I thought it was very weird that Netflix did not have a recap of the last season. Now, maybe they're doing that on purpose because, you know, we watched this season last year, Season 2, and usually when the next season comes up, there's like a previously on, but there wasn't this time. Now, to my benefit, a lot of people came to my channel to refresh their memory on what happened last season before starting Season 3. Hey, even I had to do it. So, hey, more power to me. Thanks, Netflix, for the heads up. But I think it's more beneficial if you put that recap button on there. But hey, if you don't, hey, if you like it, I love it. So let's get right into it. Now, Marcella. From episode 1, so Marcella is deep undercover with this Irish mob family. That's where the guy who picked her up from the end of Season 2 put her in. She's like totally deep undercover, and now she has to infiltrate what's going on with this mob family. Yeah, right from the beginning, she's dating one dude and immediately sells him out and gets him killed to then start moving on to the... At first, I'm thinking, is this a cop? Is this another cop that's helping her out in this undercover situation? It turns out, no, he's like a relative that she totally sold out and immediately had eliminated, and then moves up to the next member of the family, and Finn. So after selling out her own boyfriend, and they look good together, she's like moving on up in the world. That's a good message to send to people, right? So to gain more trust. Now, there's a side story where there's a little girl who's the daughter of another friend to the mob family who's having adolescence. She's getting into trouble. She's doing some things to gain money. She just wants to get away, wants to get out of the situation. And at first you're like, what is this side story about? Who is this person? And it doesn't really connect the dots until later on, but we'll get to that later. The mother, Catherine, now. Catherine is a piece of work right from the beginning. You can tell you alpha females can sense another alpha female, and then, she feels threatened. I don't know who you are. You're first you were dating this guy, now you're dating my son. Now, you're just moving on up. What's going on? Who is this person? And you get that intuition of something's not right here. And Catherine, even though she's on the cane, she reminds me of like a kingpin kind of a character, like one you do not mess with. She has a vice grip on the family, and you can tell she senses Marcella to be a threat. Family who not only are in organized crime, but inadvertently are also in drug dealing, even though the rest of them don't know it. But somebody in the family is doing it. So that moves on to episode 2. You find out that Bobby is the black sheep of the family. He married into the family. He's not really well respected. He's married the daughter of Catherine. She's about to have his baby, and he's pretty much a screw up, right? By going out, something as simple as going out to the nightclub and getting into it with some kid out there who's probably thinking he's a hotshot himself, and just killing him in front of a bunch of witnesses at the club, making threats. You say anything, you're dead. But it turns out that he's a politician's son. In a moment when they're trying to be tough on crime. You just constantly bringing attention and more heat to the family. Marcella, it turns out that she's becoming too deeply involved with this family, and she might be institutionalized. She might be becoming I forgot what the word was when you are deep undercover and you become a familiar. You become the persona that you created for yourself. She flips, right? So It turns out that Bobby is the one who is also not only messing up and bringing extra attention to the family, but he's also the one dealing drugs into the street in a town that's controlled by the mob that says drug dealers will be shot, and it's Bobby who's the one bringing the drugs in. Now Bobby gives drugs to be sold to his guys on the street, who are then selling drugs to that little girl, who then has an overdose. And her father, friend of the family, is coming out of jail real soon. And this is this guy named Jack. Now, he's loyal, loved, and very much trusted by the family. His little girl now has been killed. He makes a speech at her memorial in the area where she was found dead, and he makes it known drug dealers will be shot. He's putting it out there. I'm a member of the mob. I don't care. I'm coming after whoever got my daughter killed. I don't care who it is. So the police are now up in arms, like, oh my God, we gotta get this wrapped up and these people put away before more people get killed. Then it turns out that there's now that Marcella is making the moves on one of the one of the other brothers in this family. There's also a peeping Tom, the oldest brother, who is has a photographic memory. He's a very weird guy. He's a germaphobe. He keeps to himself. He doesn't go outside. He has all these phobias, but he doesn't mind, being upstairs in the room above his little brother and a peephole looking and watching him have sex. It's very creepy. And he obviously, relieves himself of all his pent up little tension there. He probably cleans it up really well too, because he's a germaphobe. It's just weird. And then there's a conversation that's had between Marcella's old partners, who's named Ralph, and they as he finally caught up to her. By episode 4, trying to get rid of Bobby begins to backfire. He's the liability. We can't trust him. He finds out that he's the one that's been peddling the drugs. Jack is gonna kill you. It's all off the rail. Jack doesn't trust Marcella. They don't want to upset Catherine. I mean, no, not Catherine. They don't want to upset was it Stacy, with the pregnant daughter. They don't want to upset her. He's the father of the child, but we got to get rid of Bobby. He's a liability. Catherine sends a message to Marcella by having some woman killed, just like that, just to let her know that she can, that I don't care if you're working for me. I don't care if you think that you are loyal to me. The second I figure that you're a liability, toss you off the roof, just like I did that other girl. Just to let her know that she can. It's a whole messed up, bloody situation. And by the end of that episode, Bobby is being taken by Marcella to be taken out of the country for his own good. Can't keep him around. He's too much of a liability. And then he's taken by what looks like a cops, a mob family. It's like The Departed, where there's a former cop who's now working. I mean, you're going to have cops on your payroll, that's one thing, but a former cop that's deep in the family? Come on, dude, they're undercover. It turns out that Bobby was taken by other former cops and crooked cops, and Marcella finds out and figures it out, and she goes out to go rescue him by looking up. She figures it out by looking up a list of bad cops. She finds that Bobby was kidnapped and taken to a farm where his body was devoured by pigs, hogs. I mean, just it's brutal. I hope he was dead when that started happening. I heard they eat everything. They even eat bone. It was gross. The only thing she could save was a ring to give to her old partner to try to use as evidence. And then it's revealed that Jack, the father of the little girl who overdosed, and the middle brother Stan, who Marcella is now sleeping with, on the down low. That was a twist. That just shows why he's so jealous of Marcella. So or Karen, as he knows him. So by episode 6, Marcella is being stalked. It looks like people are leaving throughout the episodes, these little clues for that somebody knows that who Marcella is and about her past. And I was starting to suspect that maybe Marcella has this Dexter dark passenger kind of a situation going on, which it turns out she does. It seems that Kara seems to be Marcella's dark passenger, or vice versa. Maybe Marcella is the dark passenger, or however you want to think about it. Who's the real person? Is the real person Marcella, and Kara's the personality that she invented to protect herself, or is it the other way around? Who is the Batman and who is the Bruce Wayne? War within the family gets more and more intense now that Bobby is found dead. Stacy now is just after everything that's happened with her husband, she's upset. She she can't trust anybody, so she runs, and it looks like she might snitch. So Marcella, Karen, has to go get her. And then it's revealed that Jack just straight up confirms, like, yeah, I've been sleeping with Stan. Me and Stan are we more than on the down low. We gonna get up high, and so I didn't know if at the time that meant that they were gonna try to become a throuple. I don't know, but it just got more tense and uh, uh, more just weird. Catherine gave her daughter Stacy a chance not to snitch. That didn't go over so well. So it's like, all right, Child Protective Services says we're going to take the baby. You know, you're going to jail for possession since we planted drugs on you as you tried to escape. Um, and I thought that was a very tense moment because Marcella was having an episode where she was thinking about the baby she killed. So I'm like, where did that baby come from? Whose baby is that? Is that a real baby? And then I realized, oh yeah, that's right, Stacy. That's right. We just took Stacy. Um, but by the end of the episode, Marcella meets Kara. Kara meets Marcella. And it's like you come face to face with your dark passenger. So the whole flashback that happened in the very beginning of episode 1, where she's dressed like herself with the fluffy coat and everything and her hair back to normal, then now comes full circle. It's a blackout moment, and Marcella decides to take back over. Kara, it turns out, is the creation that she made it probably a long time ago, maybe when she was a child, to defend herself. I heard that, and you see that a lot in movies where split personalities, you invent this person that's stronger than you to protect yourself. By the end of it, Stacy gets a revenge on for Bobby's death, kills her brother. Finn kills Stacy. Marcella kills Finn, and takes the baby, and takes the family money. Uh, I don't know if it did. I remember that. I don't think she killed Catherine. She told Catherine she was taking it. But by this point, Catherine had a stroke and couldn't do anything about it. Let's do the ending explain kind of a thing. By the end of the episode, you see Marcella is at the airport about to get on her new private jet to take her new baby out. And I don't like this thing because it happened twice, where it's a cliche thing where you have like a mob family that's a messed up family. Catherine raises Stacy in a messed up way, and then Stacy has a baby. Stacy feels betrayed. She betrays the family. Catherine then gets rid of Stacy and takes Stacy's baby, as if she's getting a grandma parent do-over. Stacy's your daughter, though. You still have a baby. I don't care how old my kids get. Those are my babies. But too many times I see, especially with mob families, a messed up parent knows they messed up with their kid and then tries to have a parent do-over with that kid's kid, as if the pain that she's feeling for her baby isn't real. Only your pain is real. So no, I messed up with you. I need a do-over. I'm taking your baby. It's like an evil grandparent kind of thing. It's a cliche that's done a little too much for my taste in a lot of TV series. So I don't know. And then the second time it happened was with Marcella. Of course, the baby would probably be better off with her, right? I mean, she got all that money, but is she though? I mean, look what happened with your baby. I mean, not to be offensive. I mean, she was going through postpartum depression or whatever, maybe at the time. But is she better off with you? Just because you did a horrible thing to your baby doesn't mean you get a baby do-over for a baby that's not your baby. Have I said the word baby too much? Anyway. That's just a cliche that I just never really liked. So by the end of the episode, she takes the baby. Then the phone rings. The partner that recruited her with the scar thing, he got killed a long time when he tried to come in and finally take the family down and get his revenge. He got one of them, but then he got killed. So I know that wasn't him who made that phone call. There was before Marcella got on the plane with Stacy's baby to leave to disappear. There was a phone call, Was it from her old partner trying to reach out to her because he was calling her Marcella, or was it that new secret organization that recruited her to deep undercover thing? I think the answer is going to depend on what they do, what they decide to do for season 4. People are going to obviously think it's her old partner. Maybe he survived and found her. I don't think so. I think it's more likely that it's that organization that she was working for, that deep undercover organization, because he was on the phone talking with somebody, and the guy who recruited her. And I think that it's going to turn out that they tracked her down. They could easily, track her through the money, that she's using and that she stole. So that's who she's going to be on the run from. So if there's a season 4 that comes up, the easiest way to get her back under control would be to take that baby and force Marcella to do something else for them, and maybe use her money and now her new resources to be more international. Maybe they'll come to a different country. Maybe Marcella will take a visit to the States. Who knows? I don't know. So I'm excited for it. I hope a season 4. I like this. I'm going to take some time before I rank it to see which is my favorite season. So let me know what you guys think about my recap. That was my recap. That's my ending, explaining who I think that was at the end of the episode, who that was calling her. I think that's going to lead to a season 4. So if we get a season 4 of this, what do you think? How do you think it's gonna make sense to launch it? Do you think they're going to go after the baby and force Marcella's hand to work for them again? She's obviously going to a different. I mean, we're gonna have this take place in a whole different country where she could ever come to the States. Speculate a lot. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the box below. Let's just keep talking about it. As you know, guys, whenever we answer your comments, questions on T3 Media, you can send it to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want, or right below here in the box below. We will talk about it on We Got Your Mail. And if this is the year 2021 right now and you're watching this recap because once again Netflix did not recap season 3 and you needed to come back here and refresh your memory, let me know what you thought about my recap. I hope it wasn't too long-winded. I tried to edit it down as best as I could, and comment below. And once again, thanks Netflix for hooking a brother up, because the less you recap, the more views I get. And hit the like and subscribe button once again, guys, and let's just keep talking. Until next time. Peace.
Take it to that position.
Was when I did that, was that too much? Did I violate? Stuff like that.
Oh, I don't think that's ever happened to me. I don't think any guy that I've been with has ever recapped. They'd be like, wow, that was amazing. But